If you are here, it definitely means one thing, that you are able to cross over to 2022. Happy New Year. And I want you to register your presence in the year 2022 by just dropping a comment, a simple comment, Happy New Year. 2021 was an amazing year on this particular channel. We witnessed a lot of growth. And it was just possible because of you. Without you, it would not have been possible. And it is my hope and our hope that 2022 is going to be even better. And I want to begin it by analyzing Raila Odinga and Francis Atwoli'S meeting, which took place yesterday in Bukhungu Stadium. Remember, yesterday there were two events in the larger Western Kenya, or the Luhya Nation. There was a meeting in Mumias, which was organized by Senator Cleophas Malala through the funding of the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. That meeting was supposed to be graced by two individuals from the larger Western Kenya, that is Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula. They did not attend that event because they realized that Malala had actually invited the Deputy President to grace the event. I'll do another analysis on that particular event in Mumias, especially what next for One Kenya Alliance movement after the drama in Mumias. Then there was the Bukhungu event. The Bukhungu event was organized by Francis Atwoli. It brought together the entire political leadership, opinion leaders, religious leaders, elders, vijanas from the entire Western Kenya or the entire Luhya Nation. And they made a declaration that they were going to support Raila Odinga for the presidency in 2022. So in this video, I want to try and figure out the real objective of that meeting and whether the objectives were actually achieved. But before we do that, if you are watching this channel for the first time, just show love by clicking the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, just like I always say, I know you know what to do. Now let us get back to serious business. I want to be a bit brief. You know, there's an outbreak of some flu, influenza flu. I think I have it a bit, but it's gonna be well. Now, what was the objective of the Bukhungu meeting? And were those objectives achieved? What were the objectives? And were they achieved? If you ask me, the objectives were achieved. But William Samoei Ruto also did not let the organizers of the Bukhungu Stadium meeting to enjoy monopoly of that particular day. So William Ruto also carried achieved some of his objectives in Mumias. But what were the objectives of Bukhungu Stadium meeting? In my view, number one, the Bukhungu Stadium meeting was actually Raila Odinga's strategy for Western Kenya. If you followed the proceedings during that particular event, it was clear that Raila Odinga is crafting a new strategy for Western Kenya. And what has always been his strategy for Western Kenya? From 2007 up to now, Raila Odinga has been calling the shots in the larger Mount Kenya, in the larger Western Kenya. And he has been working with the leadership from that region. In 2013, he was with Moses Masika Wetangula. Mudavadi was in a different camp, contested alone. But Raila Odinga still managed to win in Kakamega, in Busia, even in Vihiga, then Bungoma was delivered courtesy of Moses Masika Wetangula. In 2017, Musalia Mudavadi came on board. But after the elections, it became very clear, like for example in Kakamega, that ANC party had won majority seats at the expense of ODM party. And that was attributed to several factors. The first factor was the fact that ODM botched their nominations. For example, Oparanya was being accused of trying to impose certain individuals on the people he believed were his troops. So they ended up losing. But this time around, Moses Wetangula is drifting away. Musalia Mudavadi is also drifting away, which means Raila Odinga must come up with a new team. And that new team is what was unveiled in Bukhungu yesterday. At Bukhungu Stadium, Wycliffe Oparanya was actually made the Luhya spokesperson. Remember previously, he had been made the Luhya spokesperson, political, and then in government, there was also Eugene Wamalwa. So basically, Raila Odinga has now elevated his deputy party leader, Wycliffe Oparanya, as the new kingpin of the entire Western Kenya. I don't know whether he's going to succeed, but one thing I can guarantee you is that after the Bukhungu and the Mumias saga, Musalia Mudavadi is not going to rise. And that's what Raila Odinga and their team wanted to achieve. So that was the first objective of Bukhungu Stadium meeting. The second objective of Bukhungu Stadium meeting was for Raila Odinga now to focus on 2022 politics without One Kenya Alliance movement. You know, the truth of the matter, and several people have questioned this, why was One Kenya Alliance movement formed in the first place? They would have just retained the NASA and kicked out Raila Odinga. But of course, they kicked out Raila Odinga, then they brought on board Gideon Moi. So Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta have been working so hard, especially President Uhuru Kenyatta, to bring on board One Kenya Alliance movement leadership into Raila Odinga's camp. But there's been trouble. Musalia Mudavadi has been reluctant. He doesn't want to join One Kenya Alliance movement. Again, Raila Odinga is willing to work with someone else from the larger Mount Kenya region. And Raila Odinga, having fallen out with the One Kenya Alliance movement, with the former NASA core principles, really, he didn't see the need of reaching out to these people when these people just left. So I think in his own thinking and his team's thinking is that they need now to focus on 2022. Forget about Kalonzo, forget about Mudavadi, forget about Weta as at now. But specifically for Western Kenya, forget about Weta, forget about Mudavadi, because they are dragging him. So moving forward from January, you'll see Raila Odinga and his troops going and venturing forcefully into the larger Western Kenya without a second thought about his former core principles. So that was the objective of the Bukhungu meeting. From there, Raila Odinga was given a go-ahead to now go and start looking for votes, because he was endorsed as the Luhya's candidate. So he's going to focus on 2022 without thinking about what Musalia Mudavadi is doing, what Wetangula is doing. Number 3, and this I think is also something which they achieved in a big way, is to weaken Musalia Mudavadi's influence in the larger Mount Kenya region. The truth of the matter is that if you followed the event from the day they started planning it up to now, the idea was simple: to lock out Musalia Mudavadi out of the meeting. And that's why Musalia Mudavadi easily fell for Malala's game, because Musalia Mudavadi now wanted to also to prove that they can also call a meeting in Mumias and people will go there. Unknown to them, Raila Odinga and his brigades had engineered massive defection from Musalia Mudavadi's party. In Kakamega alone, over 20 members of the county assembly allied to Musalia Mudavadi. defected and joined Raila Amolo Odinga. So we are talking of over 20 MCAs from Kakamega. These are the grassroots people. In Kakamega County, the majority of MCAs are ODM, but ANC party also has a lot of presence. Why? Because of the botched nominations in ODM party. And those who are elected on ANC party are now coming to join ODM, which means technically Musalia Mudavadi is losing the grip. So they're weakening Musalia Mudavadi. They want the influence of Musalia Mudavadi, because apart from Vihiga, the only other place Musalia Mudavadi had serious influence was Kakamega. Because of those elected MPs, some of them are defecting now, elected MCAs who have now defected. So it means Musalia Mudavadi is now left naked in Kakamega. Can he influence Busia? His influence is Busia is minimal. He doesn't have influence there. Busia is Raila Odinga's stronghold. What about Bungoma? Bungoma is Weta. So probably Raila Odinga will figure out how he can maneuver in Bungoma. But for Musalia Mudavadi, they have completely finished it. And the truth of the matter is that from the event in Mumias, Musalia Mudavadi is now out of equation, because now we had 2 events taking place in Western Kenya. Mudavadi, who was supposed to attend one, missed. So which means we had Ruto and Raila, which definitely can be concluded to mean that now we had a 2-horse race in Western Kenya. That is Raila and Ruto. So the objective was to weaken the influence of Musalia Mudavadi. Number 4, in my view, was the Raila Odinga's endorsement. And that's what Raila Odinga wanted. You see, Raila Odinga has declared that he's going to run for the presidency, but he needed serious endorsement from the Luhya Nation. And that was done. The elders endorsed Raila Odinga publicly. Members of parliament who are there endorsed Raila Amolo Odinga publicly, including the allies of Musalia Mudavadi. Someone like Ayub Savula was very categorical that he has not left ANC party, but is now in Azimio. What does that mean? It means that either he's sending signals to Musalia Mudavadi to follow him, or he will definitely join the Azimio la Umoja meeting. On the other side, when Ruto was in Kakamega, in Mumias, he didn't get that kind of endorsement. Malala was like, Sisi, we are going to ask Musalia Mudavadi to go and talk to Raila, ama talk to Ruto. He never got that outright endorsement. And that's basically what Raila Odinga got in Bukhungu. And lastly, the last objective of the Bukhungu Stadium meeting was to finish the One Kenya Alliance movement. Musalia Mudavadi has entertained Cleophas Malala for long. When they held that meeting, was it in Bungoma? Malala attacked One Kenya leadership, especially Kalonzo Musyoka, for inviting Raila Odinga to his event. He invited Ruto yesterday, but Malala castigated One Kenya Alliance principal, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, for inviting Raila Odinga to his event. Kalonzo that time warned Malala that if he wants to go and work with Ruto, he should go and work with Ruto in peace. The truth of the matter is that One Kenya Alliance movement has stagnated because of one man called Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi, in his own thinking, believes very strongly that is the guy who should be the flag bearer in One Kenya Alliance movement. The other guys are saying, let us just push. Then we'll come up with a strategy on how to identify a presidential candidate. Unknown to them, or maybe it was known to them, that's why people like Gideon Moi are never taking Musalia Mudavadi seriously. Unknown to them was the fact that William Samoei Ruto was working very closely with Malala. So after the event in Bukhungu, One Kenya Alliance movement is going to collapse. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. If you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click subscribe button. And I want to leave by asking you a simple question. What next for One Kenya Alliance movement after Malala sneaked Ruto to Mumia's event? What does it mean? Until that time, bye-bye.